Welcome back. This is Ryan Thompson with PyroCMS. In our last video, we scaffolded a theme, created a theme, scaffolded it. We moved in all of our assets and images from our front-end team, from our build files. We moved them into our new theme, and we scaffolded our general layout. And we also integrated things like hours, navigation groups, and variables throughout the website as well. So now it's time to continue and put together the home page, and we're going to do that with a page type. And I usually like to, if I can, use two page types, one for internal pages that are block powered, and then one for the home page, which is custom and has fields per item. As we get into it, we might find that we need to use streams to hold some structured data. But let's get into it and see what we find out. So to get started, we've got the reference file here from our template. This is from our build team. And we've got the static stuff done. We've got the navigation mocked in currently. And so we basically need to do everything from here down to about here, because we have that footer bottom as well. So testimonials, we are going to need a stream, because testimonials will go into a stream. I'm sure we'll randomize those. These can probably be done using a repeater or something on the page itself. This will be simple page fields. Ooh, needs some z-index work there. These will also be, I think I'll probably set these up as a set of fields, and another set of fields. Online forms and such, I'll probably, it's a fine line. When we build things for our clients, we want to give them enough control to have it flexible enough, but we also want to reduce their access and control to an extent so that they can't go destroying their website or accidentally, breaking things. So we want to make things as simple as possible. So this is going to be a decision that we have to figure out, whether we want to allow simple text and link, or if we want to include the navigation, the icon in this type of data. But let's get into it and start with this banner. That should be easy enough. To get started, actually, I think we'll download the streams module. Let's get in here. Repositories. I'm going to sync these real quick. Yeah. Let's go ahead and create a new page type. This is going to be specifically for the home page. It will extend our default layout for now. We'll just leave the title in there. I'm going to change the content that we have now to a block field type. I'm going to assign that to the default, which will be for like internal pages and some of the other structured pages as well, because even if it's like a structure, like a custom content or contact page, for example, I want to try and wrap as much as I can up into blocks so that they're portable. Doesn't need to be required, but let's go ahead and edit this as well. We don't need the title. This is actually correct for blocks as well. And then I'm going to change the home page to the home page type. And to get started, let's integrate this banner. So we got a banner and a banner title. One thing I like to do on image field types is set the allowed types to something that is compressible. So that'll only allow them to use JPEGs. And let's assign these real quick to the home page. Banner image. We can go ahead and make that required. That way they can't break things. We'll make this optional. And I usually just start with whatever our build team gives us. So I'm going to find what this image is. Oh. Well, that's weird. Interesting. Sometimes we get little surprises like this. Interesting. Okay. Let's remove that. And let's remove this. I believe this should be, let's open in preview. I believe that should be its own single image. I don't see why they did that by itself. So we're going to have to fix that in the build. That didn't get caught. Let's go ahead and export. And these will be our images for files. Actually, let's, oops, export. I want a JPEG. That's fine. Delete that copy. Let's reload our template here. Banner image. We'll take our JPEG. The title. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to open up a couple different tabs here. So we've got our page, and I want our type, our page type open here. Because what we're going to end up doing is including partials specific to this page. And let's see. Let's do pages, home, banner. And before we get too long, we want to open up this. Why they did that, I do not know. But let's take this out. What's the banner block? I think that's going to be this thing. Yep. So these are different, these are consecutive, so I'm just going to keep them separate. So let's take the banner and create that view that we put into our page type. Slap that in there. Gonna do this. We'll probably have to revisit this. Oh, that's right. So this is coming from our page. So we've got our page, and we can also, I usually, within partials, stuff that's not directly within our layout here, the page is available here as a variable. So I'm going to do banner image because that's the field slug of what we want. We're going to make an image instance, and we're just going to make sure it's at least 15 wide. We might have to add these classes to it, but I don't know. Let's find out. And then this is, of course, our banner title. And we want to check if there's a value first. If page.bannertitle.value. So we're using the raw value. What this is doing is basically a toString. So it's exporting the value from here, because if we were to dump this, it's actually a text field type presenter. Wrap that. Let's see what this looks like. Oops. Okay. It's not bad. Let's see what we get. I'll put those classes back on there just to make sure that those might have some responsive properties that we want to keep. Okay, so that's done. We're going to create a new one called banner block, I guess. We'll call these just sections. Tag these up. Let's clean this up a little bit with some formatting. I think that's close enough. Tag these up. The default output is an image tag itself. And because we're not chaining anything, we don't need to escape it with raw. Okay, and we called this one sections. Let's go back to our home page type. Duplicate that. Like meow. Let it save. Reload. There's that. Perfect. And we'll connect those in a moment. Let's continue on with our components here. Got the about block. We'll take that from our here. We'll create a new about twig file, and this is just how the home page works as far as parting this out. But we'll do a similar thing with blocks as well, and it's kind of cool. Tag these up. These are going to end up being page driven, but for now, let's just get them in. So let's make, let's leave these for now. We'll continue on. Our about, let's include this in our layout. Save. Okay. What's next? Help block. Help and then features. So back to our template. Let's take this. And features. Let's look for the images. Nothing. Let's add those to our layout. And then basically our fields from the page will feed these sections. Help, features, I believe they were. Help, features. And a testimonials block. A mobile and non-mobile testimonials block. So we're going to stuff those into their own. No tags to replace just yet. It doesn't look like. Okay. And then we'll include testimonials in our layout. All sorts of little z-index issues that are going to have to be resolved. Or like this one's just spacing, but there's going to be some touch-up that we'll need to do, but that's okay. Okay, so our JavaScript is jacking up here. I'm going to pause this for just a moment while I fix this JavaScript. It's usually like a no conflict issue with jQuery. So to save you guys the agony of bearing with me while I fix this one, I'm just going to pause it. Okay, so I fixed that jQuery issue. It was a no conflict thing or whatever. I had to use jQuery instead of the $. A combination of of those things. Super annoying. But it's something that we have to deal with right now. So currently, we've got a missing image here that I'm going to find real quick, and we're also missing styles for Slick, which is a plugin that's used for the testimonial slider. So the Slick stuff is in the theme. We've got these three, I think, that are probably being left out. So let's open up our metadata and add those. CSS theme. Fanciness. And Slick. I think that'll make our let's fix this real quick too. Testimonial block.ping. Oh, PHP Storm's having a fit. Close it and reopen. I should probably update, maybe they fixed it. Alright, let's find this testimonial ping. Testimonial block. Maybe it's in the view itself. Yep, there it is. There. That should get rid of the 404. Now we gotta figure out why this slider's over here. Other than that, it's looking not bad. Ah, that's why. So I assumed these were in the theme directory, but they're not. They're just in the base. Because they're not in theme, the hint, they're not getting picked up for an asset change. So I'll clear assets automatically or manually. Reload. There we go. So there's our slider. Okay. So let's see. This is live already. We've got that in the page. Where is it? Here it is. These I'm just going to I'm going to set these up as immutable pages, I think, similar to what we did before, because I think these will probably I'll set them up as pages or as page fields. That's fine. Because they might not be throughout the site. So we'll create URL fields for all of these. Usually, if I were going to make this a repeater, it would have to be something to where it doesn't require additional skill or knowledge from the user in order to do something different, to change the block fundamentally, or to change a piece of content fundamentally. So because these images are SVGs and our designer's done them, it's not realistic to ask the client to make a new one. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that these won't change, that these are good as is. And I might add text control, but for now I'm just going to add a URL for each of these so that they can point them to whatever after the fact, primarily for our content team, but they might need to do this at some point too. It's hard saying. So we created all those. Let's assign them to the home page. Online request and tour. No need to make them required. Let's edit that page. And I usually put placeholders like this, just to confirm. Then in our banner sections, that's what it was. Page. I'm going to use template, the page as it is in our template super variable, just for, I consider it, I guess, better practice. Because you can always use the page from the template super variable, but there's cases where the page might not be available just by itself like this. So and we'll normalize the URL so that they can put in a route name, they can put in a path, they can put it in a full URL, whatever. And tour. Request, tour, and you can see down at the bottom of the screen that those links are working okay. This one. Let's see. Could use a what you see is what you get for this content here. And then we've got a link in text below. Let's go ahead and make a repeater. I'm just going to call it about callouts. So let's head over to repeaters. We're going to create the fields that we need for one first. So we're going to need just a generic image. And again, I want JPEGs only. Then we'll do a content area. Let's strip this down a little bit. That should be relatively safe. And we'll do a link text and a link URL. You could easily do relationships to other pages too, but I don't want to make the assumption that we get clients a lot of times that have like their appointments requested are through a third party or through some other system. So I want to make sure that they can accommodate both internal and external links here. So let's create our actual repeater. I'm just going to call them I'll just call them callouts. I don't use repeaters super often, so the name is probably safe. Quick note. Assign our fields. This is required. This is required as well. Let's make all these required. Okay, so we have our repeater set up. Now what we need to do is add a repeater field. We'll call this callouts again. And then we're going to choose which repeater we want to use. We only have one. Change the button text. Minimum item, we need want to force this to 3. So the min and max are 3. We'll assign it. And then we'll populate it with our dummy data. Add a call out. Let's see. Resources images about 1. Ah, they're pings. I'm going to export these as JPEGs real quick. I could also encode these in line, which isn't a terrible idea using the image system. I think I'm just going to leave as is for now. I'll export them. I'm going to put these in here. In the same folder that we used later, and I'll show you why I'm doing that. Anything that's going into the file system will eventually have to move up to the remote. No big D. Yeah, I'll probably just encode those in line. It's been a while since I've relied on that feature, but I think that's a much faster way to do things. So I'm just going to upload all of these at once. Just take all this jazz, slap it in there. Add another one. Matters less now. This is just going to be replaced later. Okay, let's save those. And let's integrate these into the template now, or into our partial. So those are in this about section, if I recall. Let's close out some of this garbage. Open up the about partial that we did for our home page. Let's see, the middle one has this feature. So we'll keep that in mind. For call out in what size are these? Let's call it 380 by 245. 380 by 245. Okay. Oops. Simple WYSIWYG. Sometimes we might have wanted to use like a simple text area and then a text field for the title and content, but that's alright. Call out link text. Okay. We're going to use a little bit of twig magic here. I think that should work. Let's see. There we go. For that inline ternary style. Oops. That's not right. .380 by 245. Oops. Okay. So there's that. Links are working. Content's good. They're forced to 3. Let's move on. Help title, help text. Homepage, assign, help text. We want these to be required as well. Make this required as well. We'll put in our placeholder stuff. Okay, and then let's replace that in our code. And we'll retain some new line power or new line capabilities or whatever there. That looks good. Now these little boogers, I think, let's see. These are features, I think they call the block a feature block. Features block, yeah. So I'm going to create a repeater. We need a simple title text. I think this is about the only time I use repeaters is for something like the home page. Sometimes blocks will use repeaters within, but we'll assign our title. Their text. Oops. Shnikes. That's required as well. And we'll go back to pages and we'll add a repeater field type for this particular repeater. This is the part that brings the repeater into our page form so that we can manage it for this particular page. We'll call that the same. Features, add feature. No min or max, we'll let them blow that up as much as they want. Now we'll assign it to our home page. And let's reload our edit page. Add feature. Ooh, these are links as well. So let's go back to repeaters. Let's just reuse our link URL one since it's not assigned here. Required, yes. There we go. Title, we'll use that. We'll add 2. Okay, and this is the features block, so let's open that up and make this live. Yep, so we could pretty much just plow these all in here in a loop. Nope, this is wrong. Feature title, feature link URL. Okay. Perfect. Content team can fill those out afterwards. My job here is done. Testimonials. So for this, we're going to want to install the streams module. And we can do that through the add-ons here. I synced these earlier. I'm just going to require it here. Oops. So we're going to download the streams module first. We use the streams module on pretty much every build that we do. We use it to quickly scaffold custom data objects, and then we also virtualize the namespaces. So streams are all in namespaces, and you'll see that here in a moment, but you can virtualize namespaces now, which puts them in the sidebar and adds like a navigation icon so that they behave like a module. Streams is a pro add-on, but I tell you, it's a game changer as far as quickly getting things out the door. It also, when you virtualize the namespace and things, it'll add permissions and stuff to the users module that you can hook into, and you can customize it from there. But let's get started here. We're going to install the streams module now. Okay. Let's head over there. And we're going to create a stream for our testimonials. I was going to build a module for this, but it's just so easy to use the streams module, I don't see any point. Oh, we need to virtualize this one. So it's going to add a quote to the sidebar here. You can see here it's currently empty, so let's fix that. let's see, what do they have? Just text and an author. We'll call it the quote. And we want a text area. And then the author is just going to be a simple text. Create a stream within this namespace. We created the namespace testimonials. We're going to create our stream as well. It's also going to be called testimonials. I'm just going to copy I think we will make these sortable. Yeah, I'll keep them sortable. And the author is going to be the title. This way, if we have a simple select field or anything like that, default ordering, actually, yeah, let's leave these. We're probably going to shuffle these on the front end, but we'll see. Quote is required. I'm going to make author required as well. So now we can go in and create a couple. Someone special. Let's create a couple of them. And then let's integrate those into our testimonials block here. So I think what we'll do, maybe we'll take 5 in random order, because I'm sure that testimonial pool will grow. You know, I don't want 100 testimonials if they at some point get that far, so I'll just shuffle the first 5. And I'm displaying them twice here, so I'm just going to set a variable. And I can get away with just one. This is the namespace, but it's also the stream slug, so I don't have to go like this. I can just do this in random order. Take 5. Yeah, let's just do this real quick and make sure it works. Yep. Okay. And we'll just loop over them and call it done. Quote. Author. Let's see if that's styled correctly to uppercase. Oh, this is the mobile one. Let's see. So we've got mobile and non-mobile different for whatever reason. That's fine. Let's see. We also need a testimonial title, it looks like, for this thing. Alright, so it's styled properly. So uppercases, there they are. Awesome. Let's see if they, yep, they're random. So cool. So let's put this into a testimonial title. Might be nice to be able to assign when you create as well. We'll put our placeholder information here. Content team can take it from there. Let's see, so that's done. This is done, done, done. That's done, done. Cool. So now we have a home page. We've got some simple fields on the home page type to control it, and we've added some, some placeholder information that our content team can replace later. So I think that looks good. In our next video, we're going to start getting into the internal pages and using a similar process to scaffold blocks, which is a default content system that comes along with Pyro that's available for use. So stay tuned, and I will catch you later.